Welcome to another edition of In the Weeds with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's number one casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. Please make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel if you aren't already. And if you really like this content, you can go ahead and give us a super thanks down that way. Ted, how about we break down a couple of the key plays from OU's win over Maine?
Let's do it. I love it.
First one we're going to look at is the 74-yard run for Jovantae Barnes. And this is a concept that we've seen from Oklahoma for the last several years. And this is, I call it GY counter. Some people may call it GH. It depends on how you want to label Bauer Sharp. I've heard you call it OY or OH because you're referring to it as the O pull, which is interesting.
Well, if to the way I was taught and say it, if it's a G, it's the front side guard pulling to the side of the play. If it's the backside guard, like it's power O with the backside guard. So that's how I always refer to it, but it's all the same thing.
I just refer to it as GY because it's a guard and a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a simple guy.
Yep.
So here's what we're looking at here. You're seeing a four-man front from Maine right here, and they're running it to this open side to the field. So you're going to get Troy Everett is blocking back on this three technique. You're going to get Heath Ozada down on this shade. You're going to get Logan Howland working, kind of securing that down guy, and then to the backside backer. Because remember, on GY counter, whatever you want to call it, you're leaving two for the pullers. So you've got Fabechi Wiwu being the kick out puller, first guy on counter, kicking out the end man on the line of scrimmage. And then you've got Bauer Sharp pulling around as the second puller. Spencer Brown here at right tackle is utilizing a technique, what you call reach and hinge, right? Securing that gap and then kind of taking the speed off the edge guy there. So this is as good as they've made this play look all season long. Bam, bam. Everyone is blocked, Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is blocked. Now, there's you see Jackson Arnold's eyes and where he's looking. This is a play that you want to run against a six-man box. This guy out here, he's kind of the seventh element in this play right here. But I've always felt in these situations, if it's kind of gray, hand the ball off. Yep. And I think that's exactly what Jackson Arnold does right here. You see them running the little RPO at the bottom of the screen, JJ Hester blocking, trying to block for his buddy, but it's a little gray, hand it off. 11 doesn't get there. If he was a higher caliber of athlete, does he make that play for a gain of 5? Maybe. But I've got no problem with Jackson Arnold handing it right here. And I think that when it's gray, just, err on the side of just handing the ball off. So we've talked a lot about Jackson Arnold's decision-making, and I think this is a good decision from him, Ted.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. And, we always talk about a quarterback in the passing game looking off safeties, right? You want to look to the opposite side to hold the middle field safety, and then you finally go to your read down the other side. This is no different. You've got the overhang player, And whenever Jackson Arnold gets the snap and he looks directly at that player, that player knows whenever the quarterback looks at him that he's reading him. So at times you can get him to maybe freeze just for a count. Now he doesn't necessarily hear, but you can see the difference of what it means if you can just hold him for just an instant before you give the ball, and what that can mean. It can mean a couple of yards for your running back of extra space.
It's a game of inches, right?
Right.
And you see 11 for Maine, just this little hesitation right there. I mean, that's all Jovantae Barnes needs to get up into the second level and ultimately to the third level of the defense. I have been critical of this offense and their lack of attention to detail. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of good attention to detail on this clip. And we probably should have started by saying, we know it's Maine. We got it. We got it. Fully aware of that. But Fabechi Wiwu, you want to hit him with that left shoulder, then get your hands involved, right? You want to create space. He's hitting him on the proper side. That's the proper technique. Look at him run his feet and finish through hips. Contact. That's as good as Fabechi Wiwu has looked all season long on a pull.
Yeah.
Technically, proper shoulder, getting the hands involved at the proper time, finishing with his feet. And then there's Bauer Sharp. He has, I think Joe John Finley has done a good job of taking him out of situations where it just isn't setting him up for success. We've seen him very few times in these last couple of weeks since Joe John has taken over play calling. We've seen him in very few situations where he's in line having to block a tight end. Mm-hmm. Most of the stuff he's doing is on the move with the zone insert stuff and then being the second puller on this counter, or just being going and blocking the in-man line of scrimmage on the split zone stuff. We haven't seen him like at the point of attack. We certainly haven't seen him have to hold up in pass protection.
Yeah.
So I think, Ted, I think Joe John is setting Bauer Sharp up for more success in the run game.
Yeah, and I think not just that, I think he's getting better. You go back to the Ole Miss game on some of these zone inserts and stuff, he has had some massive collisions and done a really, really good job.
Look at how he almost takes this defensive back. I know it's Maine. I get it. He almost takes him out of the screen.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. First of all, just serious velocity, which is really good to see. Got his hands in the proper place, running his feet. Almost takes him out of the screen. I mean, that's really good from Bauer Sharp. That's what it looks like. And then the most underrated part of the play, and this is something just because we haven't had a ton of explosive runs this season, so we really haven't got to talk much about the importance of wide receiver blocking and how that can take a good run and make it a great game-changing type of run. And that's exactly what happens here. Jovantae Barnes, everything's blocked up. He gets through clean. It's one-on-one with him and the safety until Brennan Thompson comes in and cracks him. Yep. And then it's one-on-one in the corner, and we see how that goes. Yeah. That's a fantastic job by Brennan Thompson. I mean, look at where he starts in his alignment, Ted. He's almost to the numbers.
He's wide, yeah.
He comes just flying in and gets a piece. And right on the side, he doesn't block him in the back.
Doesn't kill him, ear hole
doesn't him. Kill him. It's not some big attention-getting block. He just does his job and gets Jovantae Barnes one-on-one with the safety.
And you've heard me mention this a lot. Crack, replace. Okay, if you freeze it right there, on almost every team in the country, at every level, good tackler, terrible tackler, right?
Hold on. He's done it, people. Ted has finally gotten comfortable enough to draw on the screen a momentous occasion for
Well, I
the in
just
the
figured out how
weeds.
to do it. I mean, but I mean, that's the point though. You always, if you could plan on having the worst tackler on the team make the play, that's what you want to do. Put it on the corner. And you can see he comes in, he overruns it, and he's in conflict a little bit there. If it's play action, he's got to stay with that guy. So there is some indecision. I mean, when we talk about boot all the time and some of these play actions, the release by the wide receiver looks like he's going to crack. It's the same thing, but he's running an over route. So it all fits together.
It's just a really nice job of executing the concept. You got a couple guys along the offensive line. Do I wish they didn't get pulled? Like, do I wish Hito Zida didn't get pulled right there? Of course. Do I wish Hallen was able to maintain even longer on 33? Absolutely. But one of the important parts of of being an offensive lineman is knowing how to leverage your blocks and knowing where to get beat. And both of those guys, they get beat underneath away from where the ball is going.
Yep.
If those guys want to take the back door, would I prefer they stay engaged, stay completely locked on? Yeah, absolutely. But if you're going to get pulled, get beat that way, the way that they do get beat. So there's that. And then Troy Everett, this is really good from him. And this is film study. This is understanding what a defense is trying to do to you. He doesn't just blindly block back on the three technique. He feels the shade. He feels that interior twist coming, and Ozida and him pass it off. And that's really good. That's not easy.
Yeah.
That's not easy. Everett does a great job of collecting that defensive lineman with his left hand and then pulling him across his face. And that's really good stuff from Troy Everett. Once again, I know it's man. Got it.
And we see this a lot. Our D line is excellent at this. If you see guys sell out on that back block, you can just see that five is trying to wrap there. And if they don't pass it off, you're going to gain a free guy in the hole right there, unblocked to make a tackle.
Yeah. So that's a nice heads up play from Troy Everett, because if he goes and flies back to that three technique and that other defensive tackle comes and just hits him right in the hip, it's possible that you end up not blocking either of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So that's taking the film room and applying it to the football game. I just look how pretty that is. Everyone's blocked, Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little late crack. We're up on the corner. And we talk about the running back being responsible for a guy all the time when you drop these run schemes. There's unblocked guys. And those are the running backs guys. And this is exactly how you draw it up. If you're Joe John Finley, you get your crack, you get your running back one-on-one with the corner. Hey, Jovantae Barnes, that's your guy. Go make him miss. And that's exactly what he does. And he's off to the races. You are our sprint. You're our running technique expert, Ted. How do you feel about what we're getting from Barnes here?
Great lift. Gets upright, striding out, good arm pump.
How about the stride on the referee? Look at that. He's covering some ground.
Yeah, but there's no lift there. See how the foot is just like rolling through. It doesn't.
He's up there, man. Like, he doesn't look like a spring chicken over there.
Look at how Barnes looks, and look at 11. Go back on 11 and watch it. See how he's rolling his feet. There's no lift. You want that lift. You got to have some lift there, and you don't get any of the. You get like a bad foot strike. Not any
here
good.
is right here is where 11 goes. I got to go as fast as I can. The head is down.
Yep.
He's giving it everything he's got.
He's trying to get to that angle, and does a good job getting there. And this is where I want to see. It's small details, but those backside receivers have to show up. You see Jacob Jordan showing up, passing up Hester. You never know if like that ball gets punched out right there, right? You have to beat the next guy if you want to go fall on. We saw that in the Texas game, right? That's what that effort is. You just never know when something's going to happen right there.
Shout out to 37 for Maine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he was one of the guys playing the RPO, and
Yep.
he took that's pursuit angle right there. Great effort from 37.
And he times it perfect. It's really hard to do. If you swipe at that foot, you'll probably miss it. So you have to kind of try and lasso it almost to the other foot, and that's the best way to catch it and push it into that other back heel. You'll see guys do that from time to time. It's not easy to do, and it's not a high percentage that you get it, but it is a good job.
Down at the what? Oh no. We've got President Harris wasting a touchdown signal on a ball that was down at the 1 yard line.
That looks like the Elon Musk jump at the rally about a month ago or whenever that was.
He is a one thing you can say about Harris, that man he's always fired up down there on the sideline. I love it, but
I love this guy over. This guy right here. If the play's right in front of him, he's looking up at the jumbotron already.
was he in? It's going to take me getting used to you drawing on the screen.
Hey,
It's like a little alarming for me.
go back. I want to see if Barnes was he looking at the jumbotron to see who's chasing him? Nah, he's looking at the pylon, isn't he?
Complete focus from Barnes.
That's good. Was there a little
knees
bit of
down.
let up? Maybe was there a tiny bit of let up, like he thought he was there?
I don't know. I'm not going to criticize the guy. Tremendous
No,
run.
no. That's excellent job by him.
You got the president of the university fired up. All these people fired up, throwing up the touchdown signal. We got people jumping up and down. Love it. That's the energy we need. Just an awesome run. Really, really well executed. One of my favorite runs of the year so far. All right, it's time to take a look at a defensive play. But first,
Oh, you tailgaters, listen up. We are now officially in the premium conference of college football, and you expect a premium product on the field and on the grill. That's why you need Didier Ranch's steak burgers to take your tailgate to the next level. Proudly raised in Oklahoma for over 120 years, premium beef this good is hard to come by. Go to DidierRanch.com. That's DIDIER ranch.com. Use promo code Oklahoma15 for 15% off your order. Didier Ranch. Tradition plays better and tastes better.
really nice play from Robert Spears-Jennings. He's developed quite the knack for punching the ball out.
Yes, he has.
What you're getting from Maine here is actually, so this is 11 personnel. This is a wide receiver right here. So don't think it's a tight end. They are not in 12, but you're just getting split zone with kind of an outside zone track from their offensive line. So you're getting this outside zone action, them flowing to the left, but you're also getting the split action from their tight end, which creates an interesting dynamic for OU's defense. Typically, when you see teams run split zone, Ted, what would you say? It's more of an inside zone or mid zone track up front?
Yeah, it is. And this makes it hard because it's not, and maybe they have a read going here. I don't know, but it's where the quarterback can keep it up in that little gap. But it's hard because it's conflict. Whenever that tight end comes back across the formation, he's changing the gaps that the linebackers have. And typically, as a backer, you have to follow that guy across the formation, and he takes you to a new gap responsibility. And it's tough whenever you've got a full flow going the opposite direction. There's some conflict there, and I think we end up playing it pretty good for the most part. We've got a little bit of an issue down here between Kip Lewis and RSJ. We end up having two guys in one gap, a little bit of confusion there with what's going on. But, we end up rallying, and I think Kip ends up maybe getting right, but he's stretched out and out of whack. So now he's out of position trying to lunge back in to make a tackle. But a good job retracing and coming back by Robert Spears-Jennings. This is what you hear me say this at times, like he's the contained player, right? He has this outside gap of this tackle. But you hear me say, like, don't run up the field and open up a huge hole. And he does a good job of squeezing it, not opening the hole into where he can come back and make that play.
doesn't just run himself out of the play.
Right.
You see initially, and this is why I have such a passion for outside zone, is because you see OU's defensive line, they're angling, right? They're bringing RSJ off the edge here. Now Kip is wrong from the way that it looks. It seems like Kip Lewis should be going. He should be angling inside as well. But the thing about outside zone, it happens fast, and if you have something as a defense called and you're angling and then you have to redirect, like it just creates an incredible amount of variables.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and it's hard to adjust. And that I think this is a perfect situation where, hey, they're coming off the football. Things are moving quickly. Jaden Jackson is excellent right here. Look at this redirect
Yes,
and how deep he pushes that offensive lineman. That's so good. But there's just a lot happening in a very short amount of time. And you have one little mistake. You're not as gap sound as you want to be. And they've got a nice gain. Plus, number 19 for Maine.
Woo.
That is the most impressively built running back we've seen all season long. The guy basically looked like a bodybuilder.
He is jacked. He got his hands on Kip Lewis one time and buried him in on a block. But you see, like whenever a running back is going to engage someone else, like he's trying to get a little bit of a stiff arm in there, that ball, see how it comes out away from the ribs? You got the 4 points of pressure, Gabe. You got the claw up front. You got the ball in the bicep, right? You got the ball against the forearm, and then you get the ball against the rib cage. That's your 4 points of pressure. And whenever they're running and like often when a guy makes a cut, the ball comes out right here, and that's when you get a punch. Or whenever he's reaching the opposite direction, you see him reach right there, and that ball separates a little bit, and Robert Spears-Jennings times it up good. I mean, this is deliberate by him. He's made an effort to punch these footballs out, and he's getting good at it. Look at his eyes, right on the football.
Hiya! Do you think he made that sound effect? What sound effect do you think RSJ went with when he punched this thing out? You have to have a sound effect for that, I feel like.
That's
Just a quick, I like that. Ats.
like a little bit like a boxer throwing a jab, kind of.
I like that.
And he makes the right play.
This is not an easy football. Look at this thing going end over end. This is not an easy football to grab, and it's a really nice job. You got to be an athlete to do that. That's really good from RSJ.
Really good. And secures it, falls on it. You
Everyone's
often see
excited.
guys try and make that scoop and score and bobble it, kick it out of bounds, and they'd maintain possession.
Teddy, I got a feeling you know a little bit about this look.
He's hunting somebody, isn't he?
You see all these people. Look at everyone else celebrating. We're all happy. Look at her. She's, jubilant. Everyone's thrilled.
Everyone's looking into the pile. All these people. Everyone's looking in here to celebrate.
They're all celebrating.
Trying to get to RSJ, except he is looking out here to someone. There is someone that is in his path of wrath. And you could go back from the other angle. You could see he's already started the walk before Robert Spears-Jennings even falls on the fumble. He's basically started the walk towards the middle of the field.
Let's take a look. Oh man, that's a great fumble recovery. It really is.
It is. Watch Stutzman here. Stutzman stays backside, which you look at that and you think, well, why didn't he just come across and make the tackle? If he comes across, there's a cutback right there. That's not his gap is backside. So he's smart staying backside on this play right here, even though, it feels like more yards, but if he comes across, there's a cutback, that receiver's got that, and that one splits the defense for a big gain.
It was not initially, it was not a great play. You're not as gap sound as you want to be, but just a tremendous effort play and something that, the more we talk to Zach Alley, this is something that has been a massive, massive point of emphasis for this defense, not only during the season, but all off season. They They have worked on forcing more fumbles. Oh, there's Venables.
Oh, there's the violent headset off.
Oh, that's not good.
Boom.
That's the universal sign of I'm about to yell at someone. Then he's got someone in his sights.
Oh, go back a little bit. Like you can see the jaw pushing forward right there.
Come here. Oh, Jay Valai is hyped. See, I love that energy. Now, hey, Valai needs to be careful, man. That dude's strong.
Hey, I was told by strength coach at Wisconsin that Jay Valai is one of the strongest people this dude's ever seen, and he trained Aaron Donald. So there you go.
Love Valai. You got
Bah!
anything else?
I
Ah,
like it.
I like to think it was hiya, hiya.
Nice. Looks good. Securing
That's
the tackle
perfect.
too.
Ball's on the ground. Just fall on it. Great stuff from RSJ. Other than that, that's all
Like
we
it.
got for this episode of In the Weeds. Make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. If you really like this content, you can go ahead and give us a super thanks down this way. But we'll see you next time here on In the Weeds.